And of course, let's go to Capitol Hill now and continue that conversation. Joining us is Representative Ben Cline of Virginia. He is chairman of the Republican Study Committee Budget and Spending Task Force. Congressman, thank you so much for your time. We will get to spending and appropriations questions in a moment. But first, on the news of the day related to this plea deal the president's son has struck with prosecutors at the Justice Department. You sit on the Judiciary Committee. Should we expect a response from your committee on that issue?
Well, I think you will hear some concerns raised about the timing of the deal, the attempt in many minds to put it behind the Biden family so that they can refer to this in the past tense and say they want to look forward to the campaign and not worry about answering questions about Hunter Biden. But the interesting thing is, not only is the U.S. attorney keeping the case open into the family dealings, because that's what this is all about, is the dealings of the entire Biden family and whether the president was involved. And also the fact that now that the deal is done, they can't claim that it's an ongoing investigation and can't keep information from Congress. So we have a lot of requests for information out there, and they're going to have to provide that information. Now they can't fall back on, well, it's a pending investigation.
Well, Congressman, you're a self-described bulldog on the Judiciary's oversight subcommittee. I saw you mention in a recent interview, Chair Jim Jordan has indicated he wanted to speak at least at one point with an FBI agent tied to the Hunter Biden case. Will you bulldog this into a wider investigation to the point that you were just describing?
Well, absolutely. Chairman Jordan has asked me to chair a committee to ensure that these agencies that are weaponizing government against conservatives are answering to congressional requests for information and subpoenas. So we're going to have the Department of Homeland Security in this week. We're going to have the Department of Justice in this week. And there are many requests that are still out there, haven't been responded to. As a co-equal branch of government, it's our constitutional responsibility to ensure accountability across these agencies and make sure that they're done in a transparent and upfront manner. And we're not seeing that from this administration, and the people deserve answers.
Well, of course, Congressman, this wasn't the only legal and political news we got today. We also got the news that the judge in former President Trump's documents case down in Florida, Judge Eileen Cannon, has set an August 14th trial date for the former president. You were just alluding to the fact that perhaps Hunter Biden and the Justice Department would like to wrap things up quickly. Would you like to see that case wrapped up in a speedy manner, or should the president resist efforts to delay that trial?
Well, I'm not going to second guess the president and his attorneys and what requests they have for preparing for trial. The judge has set an aggressive timeline for this case, but as is known with these cases, the timeline that's set doesn't tend to hold. It tends to roll. So you may see continuances on into the summer and fall, but as with every case, we want to see justice done. You know, the sign above the Supreme Court says equal justice under law, not weaponized justice against my political opponents. So we want to see more action on the Hunter Biden investigation, the Biden family investigation, and so there ought to be fairness. Justice is blind, ought not to be peeking under the blindfold to direct justice at one party or another solely to the detriment of another.
I won't peek under the blindfold, Congressman, but I do want to grab the third rail with you here, if you'll join me. And, of course, that is Social Security. The Republican Study Committee, which you're a member of, is out with a budget just last week that balances the budget by the year 2030. But it does that through a number of different means, including raising the age for Social Security. Is that a mandatory component to balancing the books in this country? It's something that your leaders, Speaker McCarthy and President Biden, didn't want to touch during recent spending negotiations.
Well, the budget that we unveiled with the Republican Study Committee saves Social Security by making sure that it doesn't go bankrupt in 10 years when it's due to go insolvent. Same with Medicare. It doesn't make changes for those currently on Social Security. It makes changes for future generations. It doesn't change for anything for anybody nearing retirement. What it does is it balances in 7 years. It cuts $16 trillion in spending. It makes sure that it cuts taxes for working families and for for small businesses. It makes sure that it addresses a lot of welfare reform. It addresses savings across government so that we can live within our means. Every family does it. The government ought to do it too. There's no excuse, and we can get it done if we work together.
So what is the appropriate age if you need to move it higher?
Oh, well, that's a bipartisan initiative that has to be undertaken on both sides. So the Speaker's expressed his interest in an entitlement commission. The President claims to want to get it done, but at the rate that we're going in 10 years, there are going to be 22% cuts for every senior. We can't allow that to happen, and so we have to make sure that we provide a plan to move forward.
Well, you're one of the few people talking about it out loud. We'd like to continue that conversation with you as we make our way forward. Congressman, thank you. Representative Ben Cline of Virginia with us on Balance of Power. Coming up, Fed Chair Jay Powell speaking before